Once upon a time, in a vibrant village, there lived a doctor named Dr. Coffee. Now, Dr. Coffee was not just like any other doctor. He was the kind of doctor who could make patients laugh while giving them a shot. He had a beautiful family, a stunning wife named Amina, and two lovely daughters, Zuri and Asha. They were the picture-perfect family, often seen at the market. Coffee juggling fruits with Amina expertly haggled for the best prices. They were the envy of the village, and Coffee wore his family like a badge of honor. But as fate would have it, Coffee had a little problem. You see, he was a doctor who traveled a lot for work, and with every trip, he discovered a new side for himself, specifically the side that enjoyed the company of a certain side chick named Lola. Lola was not just any woman. She was whirlwind of charm and mischief, and she had a knack for making Coffee forget his family, if only for a while. Coffee would come home from business trips with a smile that could light up a room, though it was usually accompanied by a hint of guilt. Amina, darling, I brought you some exotic spices, he would say, while secretly thinking about the spicy adventures he had on the other side of the town. Amina, bless her heart, was none the wiser. She believed her husband was saving lives, not losing his mind. But one fateful night, after a particular wild trip, Coffee stumbled home, reeking of cheap wine and regret. He kicked open the door, startling Amina. I'm home, his lad, and you are all kicked out. Amina, shocked and heartbroken, gathered her daughters and left, leaving Coffee with nothing but his drunken bravado. As the days turned into weeks and weeks turned into months, Amina's absence weighed heavily on Coffee, but the allure of Lola was intoxicating. She was like a marriage in the desert, beautiful but ultimately deceptive. While Coffee was busy being the life of the party, Lola was plotting her own little scheme. She was clever. You see, she never had children with Coffee because that would mean sharing his attention. Instead, she focused on securing his world, convincing him to put everything in her name. Trust me, darling, she'll say, batting her eyelashes. I'll take care of everything. Meanwhile, Zuri and Asha was left in the care of this so-called angel, who turned out to be more of a devil in disguise. The girls were mistreated, and their cries for help were drowned out by Coffee's obviousness. He was too busy with his work and Lola's charms to notice that his daughters were slowly fading away like the last rays of sun at dusk. One day, after enduring enough mistreatment, Zuri and Asha decided they had had enough. They packed their little bags filled with memories of happier times and made a daring escape to the nearest children's home. It was a brave move, but they were scared and alone. They thought, at least there no one will mistreat us. Weeks went by, and Coffee lost his world of delusion, didn't even notice that his daughters were missing. It wasn't until he returned home one day, expecting to see Lola waiting with a hot meal, that he realized something was amiss. "Where are the girls?" he shouted, panic rises in his chest. Lola shrugged, feigning innocence. Maybe they are just playing hide and seek. Finally, the truth hit him like a ton of bricks. He rushed to the police station, his heart racing. "My daughters, they are missing," he pleaded. The officer raised an eyebrow. "Dr. Coffee, have you checked the adoption center? They might have been adopted." Adopted? Coffee's heart sank. He learned that Zuri and Asha had been taken in by the wealthiest family in the country. They were now living in a mansion, likely enjoying a life of luxury, while he was left with nothing but regret. And as if that wasn't enough, Lola, the so-called love of his life, decided it was time to cash in on her investment. She packed her bags, took everything he owned, and vanished into thin air. Kofi was left standing in an empty house, staring at the walls that echoed with memories of laughter and love that were now replaced by silence. In a fit of desperation, Kofi decided to confront his daughters. He found out where they were living and approached the grand mansion, his heart pounding. As he stood at the gate, he was filled with anxiety and shame. What will they think of me? He wondered. Will they even recognize him? Would they want to see the man who abandoned them for a fleeting romance? Taking a deep breath, Kofi walked up the door and knocked. The butler answered, raising the eyebrow at the disheveled daughter standing before him. "Can I help you?" he asked, clearly unimpressed. "I'm here to see my daughters, Zuri and Asha," Kofi stammered, his voice barely above a whisper. The butler hesitated, then called for the girls. Moments later, Zuri and Asha appeared, their faces lighting up with surprise, but that surprise quickly turned to confusion and then to a heat of resentment. "Dad," Zuri asked, her voice laced with disbelief. "What are you doing here?" Kofi's heart sank as he saw the hurt in their eyes. I came to see you. I've missed you both so much," he said, trying to muster the courage to explain himself. Asha crossed her arms, her expression hardening. "You didn't miss us enough to notice we were gone," she shot back. "You chose Lola over us." Kofi felt the weight of their words like a heavy stone in his chest. "I made a mistake. I was foolish and blind. I thought I could have it all, but I lost everything that mattered," he admitted, his voice cracking. The girls exchanged glances, their expressions softening just a little. "You should have thought about that before," Zuri replied, her tone with sharp but a hint vulnerability. Kofi took a step closer, desperation in his eyes. "I want to make it right. I want to be a part of your lives again. I promise I'll do better. I'll fight for you both." Just then, the wealthy couple who had adopted the girls appeared at the presence, commanding. "Is everything alright here?" the woman asked, eyeing Kofi with suspicion. Kofi straightened up, trying to appear more composed. "I'm their father," he explained, his voice steadying. The man stepped forward, his demeanor protective. "They are happy here. We have given them a life they deserve. You should respect that." Kofi felt a pang of jealousy mixed with regret. "I know I messed up, but I want to be part of their lives again. I'll do anything to prove it," he pleaded. The couple exchanged glances and the woman sighed. "It's not that simple. They have been through a lot, and we need to think about their well-being." Kofi nodded, understanding the gravity of the situation. "I get it. I just want a chance to show them I can be a better father. I'll work hard to earn their trust back." Zuri and Aisha watched their father, their expression softening further. "We don't know if we can trust you," Aisha said quietly. Kofi felt a flicker of hope. "I understand. Just give me a chance. I'll prove to you that I can change." As the conversation continued, Kofi realized that the road to redemption would be long and filled with challenges, but he was determined to fight for his daughters, to show them that he would give them the father they deserved. And as he stood there, facing the family he had lost and the family he hoped to regain, he felt mix of anxiety and hope, and a reminder that sometimes the hardest battles are the ones we fight for love. Kofi left the mansion that day with a heavy heart but a newfound determination. He knew he had a long way to go, but he was ready to face the consequences of his action. The next few weeks, they were filled with attempts to reconnect with Zuri and Asha. He started by sending him letters filled with apologies and promises of change. He even took up cooking, hoping to impress them with his culinary skills, though his first attempt of jollof rice ended up in a kitchen disaster that could only be described as a smoky tragedy. Meanwhile, Zuri and Asha were adjusting to their new life. They had everything they could ever want: new clothes, a beautiful home, and parents who adored them. But deep down, they missed the laughter and warmth of their old family, even if it had been tainted by their father's choices. They found themselves reminiscing about times when Kofi would play doctor with them, using toy stethoscope and pretending to cure their stuffed animals. One day, while they were playing in the garden, Zuri turned to Asha. "Do you think we should give him a chance?" she asked, her voice filled with uncertainty. Asha shrugged. "I don't know. He hurt us, Zuri, but maybe he's trying to change." They both knew it was a complicated situation, and their hearts were torn between the love they once had for their father and the pain of his betrayal. As Kofi continued to reach out, he decided to take a different approach. He organized a community health fair offering free checkups and health education to the village. He wanted to show Zuri and Asha that he was still the caring daughter they once knew. Even if he had lost his way, he hoped they would see him in a new light, one that reflected his commitment to helping others. On the day of the fair, Kofi wore a bundle of nerves. He set up his booth, decorated with colorful banners and health pamphlets, and waited for the villagers to arrive. As the day progressed, he saw familiar faces and laughter filled the air, but his heart raced every time he caught a glimpse of Zuri and Asha in the distance, watching him with cautious eyes. Finally, as the sun began to set, Kofi spotted them walking towards the booth. His heart soared, but he quickly reminded himself to stay calm. "Hey, girls," he called out, trying to sound cheerful. "Come check out my booth. I have some fun activities planned." Zuri and Asha exchanged glances, and after a moment of hesitation, they approached. "What do you have for us?" Zuri asked, her tone still guarded. Kofi smiled, putting out a small first aid kit. "How about a mini first aid lesson? You can be my assistant." He demonstrated how to bandage a pretend injury on a stuffed animal, and to his surprise, the girls began to smile, their laughter ringing out as they joined in. As the evening wore on, Kofi felt a glimmer of hope. They were bonding again, even if it was just over a stuffed animal. He shared stories of his medical adventures, making them laugh with tales of his clumsy moment in the operating room. The eyes were slowly melting, and Kofi could see the flicker of the connection they once had. But just as Dean seemed to be looking up, Lola reappeared, starting into the fair like she owned the place. "Kofi, darling, I've missed you a lot," she exclaimed, wrapping her arms around him. The girl's expression shifted instantly, their smiles fading as they watched the woman who had caused so much pain. Kofi stiffened, caught off guard. "Lolly, what are you doing here?" he asked, trying to maintain his composure. "Oh, I just thought I'll come see how my favorite daughter is doing," she said, her eyes glinting with mischief. "And I see how you have got your little girls back. How sweet." Zuri and Aisha exchanged glances, their discomfort palpable. "Dad, is she staying?" Asha asked, her voice barely above her whisper. Kofi felt the weight of their gaze, and he knew he had to make a choice. "No, she is not. Lola, this is not the time or place," he said firmly, stepping away from her embrace. Lola pouted, but Kofi stood his ground. I'm trying to rebuild my family, and you're not part of that anymore. The girls watched, their eyes wide with surprise and a hint of admiration. With Lola huffing off in a huff, Kofi turned back to Zuri and Asha, who were now looking at him with a mix of hope and uncertainty. I'm sorry about that. I should have been stronger and made better choices. I want you both to know that I'm committed to being the father you deserve, and I won't let anyone come between us. Zuri and Asha exchanged glances, their expressions softening. We appreciate that, Dad, Zuri said cautiously, but it's going to take time for us to trust again. Kofi nodded, understanding the gravity of their words. I'm willing to wait. I'll do whatever it takes to earn your trust back. I want to be part of your life, and I promise to be there for you. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the fair, Kofi felt a renewed sense of hope. The laughter of the villagers echoed around them, and for the first time in a long while, he felt like he was on the right path. He knew it wouldn't be easy, but he was ready to face the challenges ahead. In the following weeks, Kofi continued to show up for his daughters. He attended their school events, helped with homework, and even joined them for more nights where they would laugh and bond over their favorite films. Slowly but surely, the walls between them began to crumble, and the laughter that once filled their home returned. One day, while they were watching a comedy together, Zuri turned to Kofi with a mischievous grin. Dad, do you remember the time that you tried to cook jollof rice and almost set kitchen on fire? Kofi chuckled, his face turning a shade of red. How could I forget? I think I still have the smoke alarm scream ringing in my ears. Asha joined in, giggling. You should try cooking again. Maybe we can help you this time. Kofi's heart swelled with joy. I'd love that, but I warn you, I might need a fire extinguisher on standby. As they laughed together, Kofi realized that the bond they were building was stronger than ever. He was grateful for the second chance he had been given, and he vowed to never take it for granted again. Meanwhile, Lola was still lurking in the shadows, trying to find ways to reinsert herself into Kofi's life. She would occasionally send him messages, trying to lure him back with promises of a glamorous lifestyle, but Kofi had learned his lesson. He ignored her attempts and focused on his daughters, knowing that true happiness lay in the love and laughter they shared. Months passed by, and Kofi's relationship with Zuri and Asha blossomed. They became a team, tackling challenges together and creating new memories. Kofi even started a family tradition of Taco Tuesday, where they would experiment with different taco recipes and have a blast in the kitchen, often resulting in a hilarious culinary disaster. One day, as they were preparing for their week taco night, Zuri looked at Kofi with a serious expression. Dad, do you think we'll ever be a real family again? Kofi paused, his heart aching at the question. We already are a real family, Zuri. It may not look like what it used to, but we are building something new together, and I promise to always be there for you both. Asha chimed in. Yeah, and we'll always have our taco nights to remember us on how far we have come. And they laughed and continued cooking. Kofi felt a sense of peace wash over him. He knew that while the past could never be changed, the future was bright with possibilities. He was determined to be the father his daughters needed, and together they would create a new story filled with love, laughter, and resilience. And so, the doctor who once lost his way found his path again, guided by the love of his daughter. They faced life challenges together, proving that even in the face of adversity, families' bonds could be mended and happiness could be reclaimed. Kofi learned that true wealth was not measured in possession, but in love and laughter shared with those who mattered most.